Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're in game two with London Conspiracy up one after being 20, I think 8,000 net worth behind at the height there. So, yeah, we'll see if Alternate can take one and see if they have any sort of negative effects after losing when being so far ahead. For London Conspiracy, Scant, what do you think you do differently? You obviously don't want to start at such a huge, big deficit again.
I don't know. Hey, maybe that's maybe it was all part of the plan. I mean,
Radiant team
from my
pick.
perspective, I still felt like there was something in their draft lacking other than how well they do in that stage in the game. Um, I personally, I'd like to see them do something slightly different, and we do see alternative ban Nature's Prophet in the first phase here, and I don't think that's out of concern for the kind of MVP style fighting Nature's Prophet. I think it is because that's kind of a hat tip to the impact that the Aghanim Sept and Nature's Prophet did in that game,
Ten
which kind of,
seconds
in
remaining.
some sense, forced Alternate into the plays that they made. It put them under pressure to feel like,
Five
when
seconds
there are
remaining.
openings, they need to do things, and then they ended up getting punished for that. In a game where they were quite far ahead,
Reserve
it's
time.
a hero that can uniquely have that impact on the game.
Dire
Or
team
Lana
pick.
Conspiracy do start with the Earth Spirit, which already is a very big change of pace because Earth Spirit's a very proactive hero early on in the lane stage, and last game they didn't really have any of those. They had pretty much nothing proactive for their lane stage. It was all quite, let's just try and get value and see what happens.
Yeah, this time the Earth Spirit's gonna be on London Conspiracy. So again, it's
Ten
let through the
seconds
draft.
remaining.
A hero who can do a lot of work early on. We'll see if London Conspiracy can be as
5 seconds
successful as
remaining.
Alternate were with it. But Alternate, they can get the Invoker again, and it did a lot of work, but
Dire
couldn't seal out
team
the
pick.
game. Bounty Hunter gonna be the pickup.
Yeah, interesting one. So both teams gonna have a roaming hero, different sort of roaming um, that they're capable of, but we certainly saw what a bounty hunter could do early on in game three of Adfinum against oh, I've already
Radiant
forgotten. That
team
game was
pick.
so long.
Fantastic Five.
Yeah, fantastic fun. So the last game was so long, I've like forgotten the previous match completely. I remember there was a bounty hunter, and actually I remember the team had a beastmaster as well. So that's how they started, isn't it? I think Adfinum started that draft with these two as well.
Yeah. It's a
And they
strong opening. It's very good. You have so much vision.
And the
Um,
lane is good. Like bounty
Ten
hunter helping out a
seconds
beastmasters.
remaining.
I think in that game we actually saw the bounty and beastmaster got first blood and the support disruptor, and
Five
this is what
seconds
happens when you have an earth
remaining.
spirit which is likely to be at mid or the off lane. You already have a beastmaster and a bounty hunter, and it says to
Reserve
the enemy
time.
team they need to pick a really strong dual lane for their safe lane because otherwise they can't get bullied.
yeah, it's gonna. Oh, okay.
Radiant
They're gonna
team
pick up
ban.
the Sven for London Conspiracy, and yeah, that can't be feeling great. You know,
Dire
your
team
opponent's like,
ban.
"Hey, it didn't work for you, but we're gonna show you how it's done."
Yeah, I mean it's so complicated because I I don't know how much you can blame Exotic Deer, for example, because he kind of like did everything you're meant to do. The
Ten
only real
seconds
differences he might have made
remaining.
in his play is the kind of thing you were saying. Like he might have actually just gone for Quelling
Five
Blade
Well, I
seconds
think
when they were
remaining.
going for the win push.
it's similar to what we talked about with Havost. You can't blame
Reserve
one player
time.
on the team ever. I very much doubt at this level that they're playing isolated from the rest of their team. Most likely,
Yeah,
after getting caught out a few times by the Sprout, Exotic Dia
Radiant
goes, okay,
team
do I
ban.
need to go back for the Battle Fury? His teammates say, no, we've got Swap, we've got Boulder Smash, we've got Four Staffs. And so he didn't do it. And unfortunately, it didn't work out.
and the Sven pick, like I don't know, the Sven pick is kind of what put them so far ahead in the first place. So it's
Ten
like
seconds
you know it,
remaining.
you got to look at it both ways. I don't think Alternate will
Dire team ban.
necessarily feel bad about the last game or about the Sven pick, but I do agree with you to some extent. There's like a It'll be interesting if we see London Conspiracy get this fan into a similar position with a similarly big lead and do something starkly different to close out the game.
Ten
I mean,
seconds
usually when Svens
remaining.
get into those positions, usually when teams with Svens have like ridiculously farmed,
Five
twice as farmed as
seconds
anyone else Svens,
remaining.
they do just win. That is usually what happens.
Reserve time.
Yeah, it's it's interesting. Thinking about this draft, I like the Ursa ban out. Someone who can get right up in Sven's face, cause a lot of problems, especially with that enrage. They do decide to get rid of the Invoker. Also, Faceless Void alternates ban out. So
And the Prophet's already been taken out by Alternate
yeah,
themselves, so that won't be a thing this game.
I mean they're not wrong. I think that did a lot of issues. That caused a lot of issues.
Yeah, it definitely did. But Witch Doctor is a really great
Dire
ban there.
team
Actually,
pick.
it's if it's gonna be Sven and just one support against Beastmaster with a Bounty Hunter helping out, Witch Doctor is probably the best support at dealing with the Beastmaster early on. There aren't really a whole lot of other supports which are good at all actually at dealing with that. And Ben, for all his strengths and for how quickly he can farm, is actually again another one. I mean, not quite as much as Spectre or Slark that we've talked about today, but Sven is not that strong in lane. He's
10
all right.
seconds remaining.
He's maybe 6, 7 out of 10 in lane.
5
Doesn't have
seconds
the kind of power
remaining.
that heroes like Beastmaster have.
Radiant
So
team
you
pick.
need a strong support, or you need your Earth Spirit to find a way to help that lane out too. While speaking of strong lane, his alternate go back to Bane, which can have a huge impact on the lane stage. Theirs didn't that much last game, but that's because again it was against 2 heroes instead of 1, and you usually want your Bane to be in a position where it's dealing with an offlaner or dealing with a mid hero. Either that, or you want it to be with another support. Like you want the team with the Bane wants to have a numbers
10
advantage, and then the
seconds
Bane
remaining.
really does bully.
I mean, it's
5
also
seconds
fantastic for the
remaining.
exact reason it was fantastic last game. Fiend's Grip the Sven. Doesn't matter if he gets a BKB. You might not be doing as much damage to him
Dire
because of that
team
BKB, but you'll certainly be able to bring him down and hold him in place with auto attacks during the Fiend's Grip. Oracle! London Conspiracy throwing something different out there. So, this another good way to make sure Sven stays alive. I mean, similar to a DP, there's great synergy between God's Strength is up and False Promise.
Yeah, and I think False Promise removes Fiend's Grip as well, right?
You
I think.
can purge,
10
I
seconds
thought,
remaining.
but I could be wrong.
Five
I'm pretty sure.
seconds remaining.
I know Abaddon Shield takes off
Yes.
Fiend's Grip. So
We'll find out in
Reserve
this
time.
game next on these messages.
yeah,
Obscure
think
Dota
it will.
interactions. How do they go?
I think it will, and you can definitely just spam your Fortune's End on tracked allies
Yes.
to get rid of the track, which that's quite nice. I guess Oracle's quite good in terms of dealing with the offlane Beastmaster. That's probably a big part of picking it here because you can use your nuke on the boar. You just need like 1 or 2 hits and then you just nuke it, and that's a good way.
Radiant
Like if you deal with the
team
boar,
pick.
then you kind of do deal with the offlane Beastmaster. That's really the trick to dealing with it in the first place.
Yeah, I really like this puck pickup. It's a pretty safe pickup. It's also a hero who gets a lot of work done, and synergizes well, in my opinion, with the huge amounts of vision they'll have from Beastmaster and Bounty Hunter. But it'll be interesting to see what London Conspiracy try to pick up for their mid, because, Puck isn't
10
generally punished at
seconds
all.
remaining. 5
Yeah,
seconds
it's-
remaining.
I don't know. It's one of those like play-based things. Like a great puck play can beat
Reserve
almost any
time.
hero out of the lane. But at the same time, if you outplay the puck, there's quite a few heroes that can definitely get the upper hand in that matchup. But Alternate definitely have a similar looking lineup to what we saw Game 3 at Venom in the previous series. Their cores were Quap and Ember Spirits, and Puck is quite similar to Quap in the role it has. It's a bit less scaly in terms of like physical DPS, but more utility and control. And I think that something like the Ember Spirit would be what they finish off with as well, because they want a carry hero which can sort of be part of the early fighting and part of the snowballing effect of the bounty and the Beastmaster, but also maybe give them some reach. So that's what London Conspiracy might be thinking about now. I mean, they could just be thinking about their mid for the pack, as you said, but I think they might also be planning ahead, considering what that last carry hero will be for Team Alternate.
Yeah. Now, London Conspiracy are actually taking huge amounts of time on this last pick. I'm kind of wondering, London Conspiracy, Kefka, I don't think it's a super great game for some weird offlaner like Brood, but we are in the 4th pick. It didn't get banned. They're gonna go with the Sky.
Dire team
Okay,
back.
so that's their silence. This is how they're planning on catching out Puck. Wait,
Well,
this is mid Earth Spirit? Or offlane Earth Spirit? Or mid Skyrath?
yeah, mid Earth Spirit off it. Yeah, I mean
10
those are kind of the
seconds
options.
remaining.
Sorry,
Which of them
I'm
will be-
confused.
5 seconds
I mean, one of those 3
remaining.
heroes is not a support, right? That's pretty clear at this stage. How they're going to be
Radiant
doing this
team
now, I don't know. The most straightforward from what's popular at the moment is for Earth Spirit to be a core. I think actually we've seen more mid Earth Spirit than offlane Earth Spirit of late. I would like to see a core Skyrath, just because I think that's really cool. and it was
10
popular like
seconds
very briefly
remaining.
when Skyrath first became popular, and can do a lot of things. It's just the thing with the core
5
Skyrath is that it's
seconds
very
remaining.
risky because it has no
Dire
opportunity to
team
like go
pick.
back and flash farm. So things need to work out. Otherwise, you get to a point where things didn't work out and you're just nothing. You're not gonna be able to get catch up items or anything like that. But we'll see. I mean, London Conspiracy, Team Alternate banned out Night Stalker as their last ban, so they think that Earth Spirit's mid, I guess, and they were banning offlane Night Stalker, I suppose.
10 seconds remaining.
I
5 seconds
for London
remaining.
Conspiracy, I'm guessing it's a mid Skyrath. I don't. There's a lot of
Do you think
options,
so? Okay.
but
Reserved
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen London Conspiracy do the like mid Earth Shaker. Sorry, mid Earth Spirit business that was popular.
I mean, here's the thing: mid Skyrath is
Radiant team
like
pick.
very punishing to most heroes. I think one of the least punishing
Is Puck.
would be Puck because you should be able to dodge the nukes quite easily with phase shift. So I don't know. I mean, maybe with the Earth Spirit ganking as well, that helps.
I mean, Phase
Like, you
Shift
get
has a
this-
longer CD than the Arcane Bolts,
Yes,
especially
yes,
as it
that's
levels.
true. Yeah,
I'm
that's true,
just
but yeah.
like
10 seconds
now also
remaining.
astounded they picked Slock into it because you've got really good AOE here.
5 seconds remaining.
I think Slock's pretty decent. Slock
Reserved
doesn't really
fire.
mind the heroes like Skyrath that much. And okay, so they picked Darkseer, so it's offlane Darkseer. So the question is, which of those heroes goes mid? That's the big
It is
question. And
mid
it's maybe
Skyrath.
not Skyrath mage. That
Oh,
is so
yeah.
exciting.
You
I just
think
got
that's
really excited
exciting?
about
I think
this
it's
game.
disgusting. It's like Viper.
No, I don't know. It's very risky. So I don't think you can complain about a mid Skyrath mage. It's a bit like that's the thing. Like for me, the
Prepare
comparison is
for
Skyrath mage
battle.
is like Lina, except BKB does counter Skyrath mage, doesn't counter
My
Lina.
gratitude.
And if your lane stage isn't that hot and you don't start snowballing, if you're a Lina, you can just go farm jungle or push out waves. Skyrath can't do those things.
I
This
think-
is a hero that like really needs to get the kills rolling. You put pressure on yourself when you pick this hero in the mid lane.
I think as well, the Skyrath doesn't have the nice fallback and flexibility of Lina going for the right-click build. You have to be outputting magical damage as a Skyrath. You don't have another option. Lina at least can build towards physical a little.
Yeah, I mean it's exactly that. It's less well-rounded, but at the same time, if you do start snowballing, it snowballs much harder. I would say actually, and each new item makes you like
30
that much more
seconds to
devastating. You
battle.
start like solo killing people or 1v2, double or triple killing them even. These things can happen, and certainly with the Earth Spirit helping your mid lane, it's a pretty disgusting thing to have to go up against a Skyrath mage and an Earth Spirit in the mid lane.
At the same time, this Earth Spirit has to stay middle. Otherwise, the Skyrath, that is such an easy kill for a bounty hunter. They've dropped a sentry already onto the bounty. He is still under the sight of it. He is in a lot of trouble, and he's not going to get away. Our first blood will be going out the rune contest. They cannot stick around here on alternate. And this will be going over to London Conspiracy. Bottom, at least. They will get it on Nisha.
Well, that's a good start for Skyrath mage for sure. Bane is going to be sitting at the mid lane, it looks like, maybe at the beginning of the game to try and help out the pack. Yeah, I don't know, it's difficult to say with this matchup. I think it probably still favors the Skyrath a bit, even though the pack can dodge a lot of the nukes, but I just feel like it favors the Skyrath less than a lot of the other lanes that favor Skyrath.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Puck. Puck is generally one of the less punished mid laners. There's even against an Invoker and so on, you just don't take as much of a beating. And thank you, Dota Sounds, for being completely inconsistent. Skyrath is like loud as all get up compared to everything else in the game. So, in the meantime, in bottom lane, we've got a little bit of a go. Jalopi's already used his Stormhammer, so he's just taking some harassment while Bounty is chillaxing down here.
Yeah, and at the top lane, Slock's going to be struggling. Bane is not there to help. Darkseer is really strong in lane, Slock's not that strong in lane, and Earthspirit's actually come in maybe to help out, so there might be a dive as the way it pushes to the tower.
Yeah,
Oh, that's not the dive.
yeah, that wasn't the roll they wanted. You could see I actually had the camera elsewhere, but you can see on the mini-map. Interestingly, we've got folks on alternate headed down bottom. They're really just trying to make sure Jalopy doesn't get up to the amazing start that Exotic Deer did last time.
Yeah, I mean, they're almost treating their Slock as a bit of a throwaway. I mean, to be honest, their supports are really bad at controlling Darkseer. It's a problem in their draft. Bane and Bounty Hunter are never going to be able to control Darkseer. Bane controls almost any offlane except Darkseer. The Darkseer just kind of runs up to you and doesn't end well for you. So maybe that's the recognition that Slark just needs to get levels, get him to level 6 and he'll get involved. In the meantime, we try help win the other lane.
Despite the great start that Skywrath got off to, he's already experienced behind the puck, although some of that, of course, because of the duel, and Supreme has way more lost hits.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier for Puck to last than Skywrath Mage. Has like 10 extra agility or something, so projectile goes a lot faster. Slightly higher base damage as well.
Okay, we're giving it a go. On to Jalopy in bottom. He eats the mango to get the Storm Bolt off, and that'll be it. A really nice Fortune's End, really stopping any sort of aggression coming out.
Like Skywrath Mage is like quite a nice attack, but it's not nearly as it's worse than Puck's in terms of damage and attack speed. And the hero's meant to dominate mid lanes precisely by spamming, and I think that Puck is. I mean, they picked it after the Puck, so they definitely knew. Baby Knight knew like this is going to be a thing, and it makes me think that he's just happy with what the like impact of the hero is going to be like once it gets level 6 and starts roaming around the map.
Yeah, there's something to be said for the ability to just blow people's faces up. Look at how much damage they're already just doing to the Bounty Hunter. This may be another kill for Baby Knight. He's silenced up. Will he be able to seal the deal?
Yeah.
Yes, he will. And I mean...
Bounty Hunter just served himself up. I mean, he just walked into the lane and said, hey, want to kill me? And Baby Knight was like, yeah, sure.
Definitely a bit of a problem here. So Baby Knight going to be doing just fine, all things considered, having those 2 kills under his belt. L unable to do too much. He actually suicides in top lane. He came to that lane. He TP'd in super low health. So I was a little bit surprised. And yeah, as you said, Slonk not having a great time. Neither is Sven, actually, though.
Yeah, that's important. But that is because there's been a lot of commitment onto the Sven. It's almost like the opposite. Slark struggling against mostly just Darkseer. Sven struggling because there's been lots of heroes like up in his face, and Svens always struggle when that's what they're facing.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one. Let's just put it that way. This game, status weird. Now, on bottom, of course, with the lack of pressure, both offlaners getting a lot of farm and a lot more experience. Oh, let's see if we can get anything done here. Skywrath very low. A couple more auto attacks will seal the deal. Supreme able to dodge that attack. Now Earth Spirit just sitting here. He is going to go down. Supreme salving up. Orb on through. Supreme will get that kill. No dodge coming out of Steph style.
And I wonder if London Conspiracy just didn't realize the supports had left bot lane, because I just feel like they don't go for that fight if they know that the Puck's got allies. The Puck did have allies there. Supports hadn't been bots in a while, and the result, that's why Team Ultimate come on top in terms of that trade.
Yeah, obviously, actually, this Beast Monster is, like, as farmed as the Darkseer. I'm actually surprised by that. Also, Slog is dead.
Yep. Well, finally they managed to connect with the Earth Spirit gank onto the Slark, and Slark goes from struggling to farm and also struggling to stay alive, while
Yeah, the
this
roll...
Bane is probably dead too.
He's managed to dodge one roll. He's trying to go for the walk it off. Going to be a nightmare onto the Darkseer. He does have Brain Sap at the ready, but he'll have to turn and use it, unfortunately. And the rock kick on through. L manages to get up the Brain Sap, but it's not enough. It's a lot of damage back. But oh, he eats the Fairy Fire. One more auto attack will bring him down, but Skywrath came in for this, and actually, they've just rotated their mid up to push on London Conspiracy. Safe Lane Tower will be going down before the 10-minute mark, which is a damn good win when you consider map control.
And this game is, I mean, Slark doesn't even have boots yet. This game is very, very difficult to be a Slark, and he's actually maxing his pact first. I wonder if he's going to just be dipping into the jungle, farming the easier camps.
I think you have to. It's actually a scary situation for both sides, but a lot less for Jalopy, right? Because he can use... Oh, Primal Roar comes out onto Solon. He is going to be going down here. Can they find some more, though? Steph Style comes on in, but oh no, he's only level 4. Stormhammer, not enough to stop that. And now Jalopy being slowed up by the boar. Nisha decides against it, actually. Tower murders his boar, so will not be able to do anything there.
Well, mid lane, the two mids chasing each other, and
This is just a casual stroll through the woods, you know? You just saying hello. It looks like Baby Knight will be fine. No, Kefka actually does not come to the rescue. Oh, you the wrong guess. Supreme couldn't have known. He gets the rune anyway.
yeah, but you're right, it's a very peculiar start to the game with both the safe laners really struggling. It is easier for Sven to like farm through the jungle and come back, especially once he gets the Helm of Dawn. Not very easy for Slock to do that. Slock usually wants to be involved, or it looks like actually Exotic Deal is rushing a Midas. I mean, that's the only way to explain going gloves before boots even in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's viable. It's something that we see Slocks do. I just wonder. I mean, actually, no. It's not as if London can.
Baby Knight's coming to fight. Smokes, TB's to the bot lane. He's actually got Tranquil Boots, very interesting, but we won't talk about that just yet. There's gonna be a Sven stun plus the.
Okay, yeah, that is going to be. Oh no, a nice Nightmare. They're stopping quite a bit of the damage now. Puck orbs on through. He's ready. Drops the Dream Coil onto Baby Knight. Primal Roar as well. Rock Kick doesn't manage to hit Nisha, who just drops his boy. He's like, Baby Knight, you going down to that thing. There's going to be a roll away on Steph's style. The Bounty Hunter unable to get in front, and Jalapi, he high-footed it. He's just like, whatever, I'm out.
And that's supposed to be the most straightforward kill in their whole lineup, right? It's Sven stuns, Scarth dumps all the spells, and a hero dies, and they don't even make a kill with that setup. It's a little bit worrying, because I feel like that's the setup that like most thoroughly and directly justifies the mid-Scarth pick in the first place.
Supreme gonna have to take the Storm Hammer because he dodged the Fortunes and he is being healed up a little bit here. Will he be able to get on out? He throws out the Silence, the auto attacks. There will be a rock pull through and the next nuke is able to burn him down. Purifying Flames working out. Oh, isn't enough to save the Earth Spirit. And he will go down.
Wait, what? How did Puck get the kill on the Earth Spirits?
Probably because it was the last thing that hit him. I think the tower technically did. I don't know. Welcome to how
I didn't realize
works.
what the tower hits.
I think the tower hit him last, and then Puck was the last hero. Yes.
Yeah.
So he gets the credit.
That makes sense. Yeah. If that's what happened, it didn't look like that was what happened to me, but I wasn't paying close enough attention. There's a attempt at the bot lane. Looks like Sven. Yeah,
it looks like Nisha is way too deep. Somebody is going down here, and Nisha has his name written all over death. Unable. Oh, the tower's gonna get pretty low, but they will deny it. And so now both sides have lost their safe lane towers sub 10 minutes. I really wasn't expecting this. This is not at all a standard Dota 2 game.
I mean, were you expecting Baby Knight Scarth Mage? Probably not.
Yeah. I think I've actually run it once before, but in open qualifiers? Because I've costed Baby Knight Skywrath before.
Yeah. Well, this is, I mean, I think there's still an opportunity in the next 5-10 minutes for the pick to still justify itself, but for now I feel like it's not quite at that point of snowballing where, you know, like if the game just becomes passive for the next 10 minutes and people are trading farm, the Skyrath Mage is doing nothing at all. Puck will get to blink tag quite quickly and Skyrath Mage will like, you can go nuke some neutral creeps and it's not like that slow, but it's pretty slow. It's much slower than a hero like Puck. So you want to justify a Skyrath pick by being able to move around and get lots of kills, and as I said, that window is still kind of open.
Oh, Silence comes out onto Supreme. Where is the ult? There's not enough mana on Skyrath. He's trying to make sure he can get it up, but no, the nuke will burst down the Puck, and Supreme does go down. Finally, Baby Knight getting one of those to work out.
Yes, right after it's very nicely done actually, recognizing the timing, right after the Puck orbs forward, immediately going in for the Silence and getting multiple nukes off. Obviously he still needs the Oracle's rotation, but nice to see the pick working out in that instance. While at the bot lane, you've got a Beastmaster with early Necros, double bore, putting big pressure on the tier 2 already, and actually Bane and Bounty are pretty close, though neither of them's level 6 yet.
I really like this play. Obviously getting a little bit of a push done. You want to apply pressure to their safe lane area, open up their jungle, especially when you're playing with a Bounty Hunter and a Beastmaster, two heroes that can really give you a vision advantage.
And Stark, still no boots, managed to finish that Midas, has already used it, and looks like he's going for a Ring of Aquila still, before he gets boots. He's like, what are these boots things? I don't need boots.
Oh, the rock kick does manage to hit on L. He's gonna get magnetized up, hit by the Fortunes, and he's getting healed up a little bit, but it's not enough. He will fall, and they're still giving a little bit of chase onto Nisha, but without a blink or something, I don't think they're catching up. I actually don't super mind on the Slogs build. Yeah, he does pick up shoes. I think it's just, right way to say this. He's making the best of a really bad situation. Like, it's a catch-up Midas that's trying to do as much as it can.
No, exactly. It's a farming board. It's totally fine, and actually he's getting ahead of the Sven quite significantly at the current rate of things.
Radiant's top tower
This is
is
like,
under
it's a
attack.
really bad place for Sven to be. Sven really needs to get Helm of Dom and start stacking, and this
Dire's
is
middle
11 minutes
tower
37.
is
This is
under
when you want to be
attack.
clearing the stack the first time, and he's not even halfway to his Helm of Dom, which sets him up for farming the stack in the
Radiant's
first
top
place. So
tower is under attack.
Sven's in a terrible place. Slark is actually, sort of
Dire's
catching up,
middle
coming back
tower
to where he
is
needs to
under
be.
attack.
And while we're watching that gank early on, I noticed also that Baby Knight did make yet another kill on a solo kill on Supreme's pack in the mid lane. Now that he's got many levels in his silence, it's actually, he's going to be countering the pack quite hard.
Yeah.
Anytime he gets that silence off.
I mean, I feel like the pickup of Baby Knight's hero, even back when I wasn't sure if it was a support Skyrath or mid, I feel like it was for the silence. They want to make sure that they have a lot of silence to go around, that when somebody jumps in, they can instantly pop that, especially if the Earth Spirit maybe isn't in position to get off a good silence. Another thing I wanted to point out, Baby Knight looks, I'm guessing he's making a Yule's. I would have loved to see a Veil. I think his team has huge amounts of magical damage.
Yeah, he could be going a 4-star for...
Oh,
Honestly, could be
we
going
have a Dream Coil casually onto Baby Knight, speaking of, and he will get tracked up, brought down. Nice big kill for the whole team to share in.
And he buys the other stuff, so he's actually going for Atos, which is I think Atos is the most standard Skyrath board actually, and you will solo kill anyone, pretty much, on the enemy team with Atos, which
Radiant's middle tower has
is a good
fallen.
place to be at. But speaking of solo killing, that's what Beastmaster can do right now with his Necros, and it's actually Necro 3, 13
Oh, up on top we have Kefka in a lot of trouble. He does manage to get off the mech, but now he's being pounded away by Exotic Deer, who doesn't seem to care too much about that Ion Shell. Puck may actually get the last hit. Oh, the heal though! That should be more than enough to save the Shuriken bounce. I'm not quite sure how much damage, and they do kill off the Bounty Hunter Kefka. He'll be just fine. Lives with 99 health.
Necro 3, 13 minutes Beastmaster. Beastmaster is, by the way, the highest net worth in the game. I mean, to be fair, he basically was the safe lane, and both the supports were helping him all the time, and the Earth Spirit basically never went to the bot lane, so it was, most of the time, it was Oracle and Sven having to fight against 3 heroes, which is why the Sven's so far behind, why the Beastmaster's so far ahead, and it really is, it's a very big problem that the Sven is where he is right now. We've had 2 Sven games today where I talked about how, Sven comes to dictate the entire game he's in, because he just gets that much more farm than anyone else. In this game, if they were to get his farm up, it's still... I think it's almost never going to be the case that he's like thousands of gold ahead of anyone. He might catch up to where they are, but that's about it.
It's really... I think he definitely has the catch-up game, but nobody's... There hasn't been a lot of stacking. Their jungle isn't their own, although speaking of jungle not being your own, Exotic Deer...
Buck could die if he gets silenced.
He's going to pounce away at the first side of them. Really nice play there coming out from him. And he, it's not much, but he's got Treads, Aquila, and a Midas. It's something. Meanwhile, is this just a tower trade coming out here?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think that Llama Conspiracy actually very good at pushing. The Necros actually aren't committing to the push either, so maybe it's nobody gets any tower trade after all.
Yeah, apparently everybody gets nothing.
Yeah. It's very interesting to me. I want to go back to it. Like, Baby Knight goes Tranquils on his mid Skyrath, and this is... I guess I need to think more about why... Like, support Skyraths go Tranquils quite often.
It's because he wants to catch people. He wants to initiate.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to buy a blink.
And you don't need to attack that often either. So you can just spam your spells and then not break your Tranquils. But just the value of the Arcane Boots on this hero is immensely high, especially if you end up making it to either lens or Octarine Core, those kinds of things later on.
I think it's what you said, like Skyrath, huge move speed. He doesn't need to attack people. He really wanted to get some initiation and fast, looking for solo pickoffs in this game. And unfortunately, I'm not sure how many of those he'll be able to find. It's really going to depend on the positioning of alternate, but they have a lot of vision. So I'd be a little bit surprised if they get caught out repeatedly.
Yeah, and I mean the real test is going to be now, because Supreme is about to buy Blink. And this is where Puck really starts having a big impact on the game usually. And so now we start, at this stage in the game we can test, well, which mid lane is actually going to have a bigger impact. So far I think it's probably fair to say that it's been about even, maybe even the Skyrath having a bit more of an impact, but with the Blink on the Puck, you really, you start wanting to ask questions like, can we see a measurable impact the size of a Blink Puck initiation coming from the Skyrath? We could. It's probably going to depend on the positioning, as Finally, Jalopy does farm through some ancients. Does have his Helm of Dom. Starts to, mount the beginning of his comeback, but there's gonna need much more coming back to be done.
Oh, Nisha. All going to get up because, of course, Fortune's End doesn't stop that. I thought maybe Kefka would be able to get off the vacuum, but TP's taken too long. So Nisha very happy with just being a pain in bottom. As you mentioned, Blink up on the Puck. Interested to see what Puck goes for next. He may also want a Yules, just because there's so much silence going around in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Puck needs to have some answer to Skyrath, unless the plan is to always just initiate on the Skyrath yourself, blinking on Skyrath.
Not a great plan.
I mean, if you're gonna blink onto Skyrath with the level 4 silence, I don't think it's that bad. But I agree with you. There's every reason for Puck to want to Yules in this game.
Something else we haven't seen at all is that Fiend's Grip from Bane. Having trouble finding it. Oh, we have some rotations coming out. Let me see if anybody's actually going to find someone. We've got another TP down. What is our Dia vision looking like? They've seen it all in the Radiant. Oh, they know that someone's here. Radiant know that Beastmaster must be around. His creeps are off busy murdering Steph style, taking all his mana. Sven gonna pop that storm. Oh no, the Puck jumps on through. Doesn't manage to get the kill though. And now the slow coming out. Rock kicks through as well. Okay, Skyrath just decides to take a big old hit there by killing off that Necronomicon.
I mean, can we just take a moment to recognize that like 3 heroes nearly died, and Puck cost 2 spells. It was almost all like Necronomicon and Boars, which like that's how strong Necro 3 is at this stage in the game.
I wouldn't be I wouldn't have been surprised if Puck dropped the Dream Coil and people got murdered. Now, Jalopy, he's about to get Fiend's Grip, so we will see this bad boy come out. Not much they can do, and the orb is on through. Goodbye, Jalopy. No chance to Stormhammer. I wouldn't.
Okay. Well, I just want to say we talked about the Puck blink timing and not the Skyrath Atos timing, and this is like a big peak of the hero, like where it really should be able to make solo kills and head straight up to the Slark. And this is basically if you get the silence off, Slark is dead, unless he's already started his Puck, in which case he's definitely not.
He really wanted that, was actually hoping that he could get that concussive shot off onto the Slark, but he managed to fog him just in time. And now there is the push. It is happening in the bottom lane. This jungle, where do you farm if you're this Sven? Nowhere is safe.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's, again, we go back, you're running a mid Skyrath, which is just not going to scale as a carry at all. The hero that you do have as a carry is a Sven, and it's like ridiculously far behind. We're not just comparing Sven at 5k to the Beastmaster and the Slark at 8k. Sven would like to be at 12, 13k. Sven is like 2 to 3 times less farmed than the hero wants to be at this stage in the game. And there's just, the carry potential is just really not there as a result for Llama Conspiracy right now. They need something to turn things around.
Well, we'll see if they can, because alternate, they are ready to go. Jalopy, oh no, he breaks the smoke, turns right around. He sees it. There's going to be the Primal Brawl onto Jalopy anyway, though. Doesn't matter if you have armor, so they have a lot of magical damage. He manages to get off the Stormhammer, though, and the Brain Sap has already been used, so now it's the auto attacks. God Strength is popped. The Vacuum Back only catches out on Nisha. And is that really all? Supreme, again, not dropping the Dream Coil. I think a little bit of a mistake there. Oh, cancel. He doesn't have his... Oh, he was already dusted, so he's forfeited his life.
Okay, so that is a kill towards Llama Conspiracy after all said and done. And I mean, I did talk about the Skyrath not being maybe the hero they want to carry them, and Sven not being in a position to carry them, but Darkseer is a hero that's doing very well, and we saw the usage of the Greaves there, and having early Greaves on Darkseer really can be have a defensive effect, almost like the level 3 Necros and Beastmaster, like a sort of supporty item that dominates early fights.
I think... No, I definitely agree with that. The Darkseer is doing good work, making really good use of the fact that Kefka got a lot of farm. But something else I'm a little interested in, do you see a reason that Supreme is being so conservative with his Dream Coil? It's one of the shorter cooldown ults.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure if he thinks that he can set up a good fight or make kills and get odds, he's gonna use it. Like, he must just be judging that it's not actually gonna do anything, and I mean, yeah, it's just like he doesn't feel confident that it's gonna make him a kill, so he just doesn't go for it. There can't be much more to it.
Well, With that, we're going to return to farming. Sven still 6th on the net worth chart, but he's working on it. And of course, as you mentioned, the Slog has... Oh, we're going to see Doxia fall in the bottom lane. We've got a nice ult, but Baby Knight Fiend's gripped it up. Nothing more he can do to Nisha, and he will fall as well. That Mystic Flare doing so much work, but just not enough to seal the deal on tanky heroes like the Beastmaster.
Radiant's
Yeah,
top
it's-
tower is under attack.
I don't know. I get this. Okay, it's another ancient stack being farmed by the Sven, and good work that they've done to protect it each time.
Radiant's
Sven
top
is
tower
sort of
has fallen.
gradually catching up.
Yeah, now he's 5th. It's something. Although, a bit of that because Jalopy fell lower from dying. But, you know, close enough. So, we haven't checked in on the Slog in too long. He is just going straight Scotty, it looks like, after that blink.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It's like this Slog's gonna be invincible in this game. Like once he gets Scotty, what can he die to? It's the chance of Sven getting attacks on him, or he happens to get locked down, and Scarlet Mage can ulti on that spot. It's all those things are quite unlikely actually. This is a game where Slog could do really, really well once he gets Scotty, like fire at will kind of thing.
Yeah, I think... I definitely feel like they have a couple tools, a couple of AoE things to try and deal with this lock, but you're right, they don't have great lockdown beyond let's try and make sure we silence him before he gets things off. And
Well, it's also about the damage. Like what a strength of Slog is not talked about that often is he can just come in and out of fights. You know, run out a bit, use your ulti regen, come back in, and I think that that's just something Slog can do in this kind of game, because once he has Scotty, the tankability he has, it's not just they need to lock him down at certain points, they need to lock him down and like throw the entire Skyrath ulti on him, because it's that or lock him down long enough that Sven can hit him like 6 or 7 times, because they don't have other good ways to kill him.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It is going to be the Yules coming up for Puck. And we will be seeing Bounty Hunter is going to be our mech carrier from the looks of things. Beastmaster, he's of course already got the bots, the blink, the necro books. This Beastmaster is huge. What do you go next? Are you just making an AC? Make your team even more buff? Try to get rid of some of that war cry?
Yep, that seems good to me. Some Beastmasters like to buy things like Agnum Scepter, it's alright, gives you that extra range on the initiation, but if you got the blink, it's usually redundant. You could get a Vlad, that would suggest that they're actually going to make a push for the high ground quite soon. But I think you're right, the chances are that AC is the next pickup for him. And there's a big smoke from Llama Conspiracy around this mid lane with only the Sven showing who's actually tracked.
Yeah, he's trying to act like he's not so obviously baiting. Otherwise, I think he would have gone and hit on that tower. But it's not going to work for them either way, right? London Conspiracy not able to make the smoke work out. Now more tracks flying around onto Kefka. And while all of this is happening, Beastmaster is continuing to farm. Surprisingly, not that Slog is... Oh, we're maybe having a little bit of a go. They try to get on out, but they can't catch the bounty hunter. And now here comes the reverse initiation. Dream Coil finally dropped. They're getting people. Yule's up so that he's not silenced with the Fiend's Grip. Oh no, Kefka immediately going to be just fine. Although they have the Nightmare. Let's see what they can find here to pounce in Kefka. You're not getting out of this one. Shuriken helps finish him off.
Just another notch on my thumble.
Yeah. And Lopi actually went back for the Blink Dagger. I think that's probably the right move, recognizing that desperate times call for desperate measures, and at this point the best looking thing for me for Llama Conspiracy is that they find that one fight where Darkseer vacuums lots of people into Sven's Stormhammer and he just cleaves through them with his God Strength. And that one fight would be probably enough to put them in quite good standing in the game. And definitely this is a team, I mean, look at the last game, that were quite comfortable fighting from behind, making a big comeback. But I think they need the Sven's Blink Dagger if there's to be any chance of them making a comeback through a fight, and I think they probably recognize there's a certain urgency about it, that, you know, objective after objective going down, now they lose the rush, then they're going to lose after towers, and it's not going to be long before Team Ultimates are knocking on their door.
It's also a very different team to come back from behind with. You don't have Nature's Prophet constantly applying pressure. Jalopy, again, we saw it last game, but the Sven is someone who's very kiteable. Especially if you can't see the Slog, you can't hit the Slog.
Yep. No, it's it's the way that they come back this game is not as passively, it's much more actively. Like, for them to make a comeback, it involves winning a fight, which is about Sven and Darkseer comboing. They're heading up here, and Puck might get caught out.
He is, like, standing right there. Okay, he's gonna get kicked on through Supreme. That was a little bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, and that's pretty nice for Lana Conspiracy though. They'll definitely take that.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong on that. I think he could have I think there were a couple of things he could have done there, chained out. But either way, they're gonna get Supreme
Yeah.
a nice pickoff from London Conspiracy.
Supreme shouldn't have died. That's what you say. He shouldn't have died. He did die. Lana Conspiracy will accept the sacrifice and move on. They won't interrogate too much. What happened? They'll just be like, oh, we got a kill. Great.
Yeah, the nice
Lucky
purge
us.
off of the track, trying to find somebody else with Jalopy. He's actually gonna run right on top of Bounty Hunter, but of course he'll immediately invis
Dyer's
himself
top
again.
tower is under attack.
And it
with
is the
that-
Vlad and the Beastmaster, so it also want to go for like locking down the entire game now in the next couple 5 maybe 10 minutes. They want to use this Aegis very actively, and Puck's about to respawn.
Oh, we
so
have
fight
Slog jumping in super deep onto the backlines. He's trying to poke away at them, but he has been silenced up. Exotic Deer will be losing that Aegis. He, of course, does have the ult afterwards, but a Vacuum War will kill off the Bounty Hunter, and this team fight not looking great for Exotic Deer. He can't get off his ult, but Puck, he's there to the rescue. Finally, the ult comes out of Exotic Deer. That's the Shadow Dancer. They've killed 3. Can they find themselves some more? Jalopy, he's back in it to win it, but can he be stopped? He just goes for the TP away. You're not getting that with so many Yules around. Kefka, it looks like, will, but Jalopy, the bigger fish, will be caught out by Alternate, and a 4-for-1.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, they don't mind. It's 4-for-1 and the Aegis, but they don't mind losing the Aegis there. But at the same time, I think that maybe Exotic Deer underestimated the damage outputs, and he probably could have just used his ulti the first time round, and his team very likely would have caught up and still made a few kills. And at this point, he probably wouldn't have lost his Aegis. So maybe a slightly better way to do that. But at the same time, I don't know.
Radiant's
It's
middle
tough.
tower
Like
is
he might have
under attack.
deliberately lost his Aegis just to keep them interested, so to make sure they're there when his teammates arrive.
Yeah, it's really hard to say, as you pointed out. Like, he may have just been baiting the please stay around. Although, speaking of baiting, he's gonna have to pounce away, because that slow, the double slow from Baby Knight, would put him in a really risky position, even with the Scotty. So, we haven't talked too much about the supports items, but of course, on the side of London Conspiracy, they're really poor, forced to buy a lot of dusts, sentries. Not an easy life.
I'm wondering if Team Alternate don't start getting some BKBs, or at least on their slot. I'm wondering if that's not the next item for him, because
Radiant's top tower is under
there's
attack.
actually nothing. There's just like normally it would be the Sven, but Sven is just really underfarmed, and every other hero on the side of Lana Conspiracy gets completely turned off by a BKB. They might as well like go AFK for a while you're in BKB, and
Okay, we have a
that's-
Primal Roll landing onto Jalopy, and then the Fiend's Grip as well. They need to stop the Fiend's Grip, but Jalopy goes down to all the units. Baby Knight now Dream coiled up along with Steph Style. Silence comes out. They do manage to pick off the Bane, and now a beautiful vacuum onto 3 of them. Puck immediately throws himself up into the air, but Exotic Deer on the backlines, poking away at Sol, and Orb gonna come on through and kill him off. And still, they have only, well, it's a 2-for-2, but of course, one of those was the Sven, so Alternate coming out on top. Plus, track kills.
yeah, and it's
Oh, Exotic Deer actually gets silenced up here, but Puck at the ready to go back in. Exotic Deer very low. If they get another Arcane Bolt off on him, but no, he manages to pop that ult regen. He is still desperately trying to run away. Exotic Deer gonna think about coming back in, because of course he is already back up above half health. He's gonna get 1, he'll get 2. And with that,
yeah, that's what I was
Ultimate turned
talking
it into
about.
4.
If you don't burst down the slog, and it's quite hard for them, then he comes straight back in and punishes you every time. And I do think that if he goes for that BKB next, that might be the timing where the game's just totally out of control. Because I think if the slot gets a BKB, he can do anything he wants. He can just YOLO in any fights and not have any regard for his own life.
Radiant's middle
It's
tower
important that the
is under
Sven keeps
attack.
dying, I think, as well, because
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, it's normally you think the hero doing well, like that's the one they need to kill. But the fact of the matter is that the Sven is an absolute necessary component in Lana Conspiracy's plan to win this game. Like no matter how well the Dark Sense guys are doing, at some point Sven has to catch up, or they just won't ever win. There's just no way at all. So each time he goes down, it's like a little bit of hope dies for their team.
Again, looking a bit like the first match, but we know how that one went for Alternate. About a 12,000 net worth lead for Alternate, and 15,000 experience. So, and I have to say, Supreme, again, just having a really nice game. He suddenly got 4.2k gold saved up.
Well, Exotic Deer is past the point of a full BKB and doesn't seem to want to go for it. Might go straight into the Abyssal Blade. I mean, definitely makes him very dangerous, but Like if basically, I just want to say if he doesn't buy BKB now and he dies like ever again, then it's like, you know, he that's on him not buying BKB basically, because I don't think this hero dies again this game if he buys a BKB now.
Oh, they're going? Maybe? Oh, they're actually just trying to farm bottom. I don't think they realize that the bounty hunt is there. Throwing out more tracks. He's only level 10. I mean, this is a huge net worth lead with a bounty hunter who's only level 10. That's not even level 2 track coming out. While Kefka, he may be in the position to be picked off shortly. Shiva's coming out from the puck. That's what he decides to buy up with all of his gold.
Yep. So that's gonna make it even more difficult for you to kill them. Gives them that extra aura, that extra team presence. I mean, Sven is already under farm. Shiva's is like an annoying hero item to deal with as a Sven, even when you have your normal level of farm, and it's just gonna like highlight how under farm he is when there's a fight that there's that Shiva's as well.
Oh, Supreme will be silenced, but there's just no follow-up that London Conspiracy can drop. They're stuck here, and their towers are going down. I mean, maybe they'll get to deny this one, but Beastmaster, if they don't deny it, it's just gonna come in, pop the Necronomicons, maybe just pop out 2 boars and smack away at it.
Yeah. It's I mean, again, it's just like last game. There's some opportunity for London Conspiracy to make a comeback. I just think it's much more difficult because last game the heroes almost automatically.
Oh, Jalopy going for it onto Exotic Deer. Will they be able to get the catch? He gets his ult off. Nobody throws the silent. And Exotic Deer just gonna go for the TP away.
Yeah, I think he wasn't quite in range for the silence. Even with that Ether Lens, still not the biggest range spell. That's unfortunate because if they get that silence off, it's a kill. It's a very big kill. It gains them a lot, and I mean, if Slark is Mansa, Slark is BKB, it's just never ever kill him at all.
Yeah, suddenly
But
life gets a whole heap more difficult, and here comes the push. They pop the Necro books, actually hoping to get a catch onto the Oracle, but instead they're gonna get this tower in mid. There's not too much more to say about it. No longer has backdoor protection with those creeps coming in. And yeah, it looks like it's straight Abyssal for the Slark. No interest in the BKB. He's got the Basher up.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly makes him much more dangerous in terms of the actual fights, and especially once he has the full Abyssal to blink in and Abyssal someone, you could probably take one of the people out who could kill you. Like, if he captures the Skyrath Mage, that's actually probably the scariest hero for him. Like, the Skyrath and its ulti. I think it's, even without the BKB, the other heroes probably just can't kill him.
Yeah, so with that, we're gonna go back to farming a little bit. I imagine that both teams a little bit interested in... Oh, okay. Skyrath does manage to pick up Bounty Hunter. I thought because it was Bounty you'd be fine, but... we're probably gonna see a waiting for the Roshan, because...
Oh, immediate smoke after killing the Bounty, actually, from the side of London Conspiracy. They want to make one pickoff into 2 pickoffs, which is often a very good plan, actually, for a team that's behind. Like, when you have some foothold in the game, to make it as big a foothold as you can.
I can't blame them, it's just... not the easiest of plays here.
They can get the ban. They can definitely get the ban. Slark might kill all of them, but...
Yeah, okay, they'd go for the jump out. Oh, goodness, Jalopy, he is just fine. They managed to kill off the Bane. There's the dust going around, and Supreme gonna be brought down from that Yules, and immediately has the Mystic Flare dropped on top. That's not how you want to go, and that was much bigger series of kills than I think they expected on London Conspiracy. So, a nice...
And that's not even the ultimate combo. I mean, it's some kind of combo. They do the vacuum, they do the Sven. Like, that's how they make the Sven, even though he's much less farmed than he wants to be. They make him still look really valuable. But the combo can be more punishing than that, so we do see like a window into London Conspiracy's opportunity to fight their way back into the game is by, you know, if that's a team fight and everyone's vacuumed, all of a sudden that's like a complete disaster.
Now, it looks like Alternate do not want to give up this Aegis. And actually, Jalopy coming on out, they're trying to get... well, they're ganking some creeps, there's gonna be tracks thrown around. Jalopy doesn't have God Strength, they're just backing out.
Oh, is Slark gonna finish his Abyssal Blade here? No, saving buyback. I already think he should go back for the BKB and finish it later. I really think he can, like in that fight he was forced to just ulti and run away. And if he has a BKB, he sees them head on and just BKBs and fights. Like, the Sven deals some damage, but you know, he doesn't have to target the Sven, and honestly, on its own, it's not going to be enough damage.
Okay, Nietzsche, he tries to open up on Jalopy, but instead he is Stormhammered. He is going to be taking a lot of damage, but so is Exotic Deer doing in the backlines. There's going to be a nice Dream Coil. Exotic Deer is silenced up, though he needs to get on out of that, and he actually gets knocked back in, but the full Mystic Flare unable to kill him, and now Jalopy running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Exotic Deer just going to pound away onto him. Orb actually finishes him off. Baby Knight trying to escape, but with tracks on both of them, how are they getting out here? Kefka blinks into the tree line, but that's not where you want to be. Has the Lotus Orb up, but it doesn't matter. And Kefka will slowly but surely go down here. He is returning a lot of business. Actually, can Kefka dodge away? Baby Knight goes down on the other side of the fight while Kefka keeps trying to juke, keeps trying to run. He's getting incredibly low. He has Blink up in 1 second. He goes up, gets the TP. Well played there from Kefka. Oh!
Oh,
So close.
Hawk TP nearly gets him, but... Yeah, I
That's
mean, he's the
actually
only
a
one in his
super
team who
cool
does
play.
get out.
The Hawk TP? Like, that was pretty dang cool.
Yeah, it is. Pretty badass. It's like a Overlord drop. Throwback to like StarCraft 1.
Well, it's especially cool because he was like here, and he's like, I know he did it, so he's like, okay, I'll just TP to my bird.
No, I like it, yeah, I agree. And it was very quick thinking. This Bane is in a
Is
place where
playing.
maybe he
Oh
shouldn't be.
gosh! Oh no! The courier's gonna see him, or not? He attacked the courier. Like, okay, now his courier's gonna come on in, and they magnetize for this and drop 3 rocks. That is.
Did he just send a gem? I think he...
Mortality.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
What? No, maybe I was
No, no,
clicking
no.
on the wrong hero.
Yeah,
Bane
the
had
gem was
before?
sent by Solon, I believe.
Oh, okay, the Oracle just sent the gem. Okay, that makes more sense. Like, if you're that Bane sending in a gem in that position, I have questions for you. But
I
makes a bit more
actually
sense that way.
don't. How do you feel about the fact that Steph Style just dropped 3 rocks there, and you have to know that they're picking up Roshan? It's. I don't know if you can afford to do that.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think things ride that much on his ulti.
Not the ulti, but as much as having lots of rocks to play with if there is a push coming.
I think he should have a few. He'll have a few by then. So I think it'll work out. Like, I think it would be costly if the push came and he like really needed to have his ulti again. But then we just look at the ulti cooldown itself. Like, he's gonna have what? He's got 3 again now, and he used a bunch there and 1 afterwards. I mean, I understand the concern, but the threat wasn't as imminent as maybe it seemed. So I think it's alright.
Well, with that, we go back to farming. Exotic Deer goes for the Moonshard. Not the BKB,
Yeah.
not the finished Abyssal. He can finish the Abyssal right here, and he does. But Moonshard
got
gonna do
Aegis
what he
now.
goes.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with this now that he has an Aegis. Like, this is a perfectly okay build. It's almost as if like he won't buy BKB because he's already so difficult to kill, and so he feels like, you know, to invest that extra 4k gold to be completely impossible to kill, I'll just like play really well and then not die anyway.
Oh, we have maybe an engagement in middle. They're tracking up a storm. They're gonna push this tier 2 down. And Exotic Deer, he's not the best at it. He's not the great tower sieger, but he can certainly just stand on their high ground and poke away at these towers.
Yeah, that's the thing he can do. And Necro's coming off cooldown very soon. There's a pipe ready as well, which honestly, the thing that they're afraid of is that the main opportunity for London Conspiracy to come back into this game is exactly by winning a fight premised on their Darkseer vacuuming everyone, and makes them afraid to push the high ground, at least until they're comfortable with, kind of like what you're saying, putting just one hero right at the front pushing, maybe just the Beastmaster summons plus the Slark. Slark, I guess, not that thrilled about doing that just right yet. His damage output is a lot better against heroes than it is against buildings.
It's not super on a timer, but you know, you've only got 2.5 minutes of that Aegis left. Do you really want to let this one run out? Although again, you can let it run out. Their opposing mid is a Skywrath. It's not exactly bringing a whole heap of scaling to the game.
He's I think Baby Knight might be about to make a Ethereal Blade, which is actually a really good late game Skywrath Mage item. You can use it defensively as well when Slark focuses someone.
Puck throws out the orb, considers coming on through. They have a gem, so they have to be very careful here. Oh wait, where did the gem go? Is it on? Oh, they just took the gem for a walk and then didn't. Okay, we're gonna, oh no, they have caught out one. Oracle in a lot of trouble here. Going to go down It's a track kill too.
And Baby Nut actually went back for the point booster, so not gonna finish up his Ghost Scepter into Ethereal Blade. Curious to see what he.
Oh,
actually
Primal
completes
Roar
points.
onto Baby Knight here, right under Nisha, and he will. Oh, okay, nice use of the Ethereal Blade, and then he manages to get off the Mystic Flare. Nisha taking a lot of damage, vacuum back into it. That last Arcane Bolt not going to be enough to bring him down.
pipe.
And the roll away. Yeah, that was a life-saving pipe.
Yeah, so both of them get out alive, which is quite surprising in both cases. I'm very curious to see what the Scarth Mage buys the point booster, because there's an Octarine, there's an Ag Scepter upgrade on this hero. I personally think
You
it's
can't really.
quite bad. Like, it's
The problem with the Aghanim Scepter upgrade on the Skywrath is, sure, you have no cooldown on your ult, but it costs 800 mana each time you cast it. You cannot sustain that. Your mana pool would need to be huge, and so I don't think it's very viable.
yeah. Also, I mean, it wouldn't like absolutely shock me to see someone do it. I think it's pretty bad, and I'd have to spend quite a while figuring out why he doesn't. I think it's much more likely that we see the Octarine, or maybe even like a kind of late-ish Bloodstone. No, it doesn't really make sense to go for kind of late-ish Bloodstone. So it's more than likely the Octarine, which is pretty good on Sky. It actually makes it a bit more of a carry hero, because you have to deal with it. Like, because of its damage output converting into lifesteal, and the damage output going up, like it makes it much more of a hero that you need to like decide, okay, now we're gonna deal with the Skywrath, get him out of the way. If you keep it, let it survive long into the fight, it actually like does crazy damage output then.
Also, just
But, like,
small
it's
things
just-
like more silences coming out in this fights.
Yeah.
That'll be that. Just kind of a lull in the activity. Sven having this DD, can't do too much with it, and of course the Aegis did just expire. So, alternate smoked up. They want to get something started again.
Yeah. And Sven is, at this stage, Sven is caught up to, like, he's the highest farmed in his team, and he's not, like, his farm isn't embarrassingly low compared to the enemy team. It's like the regular kind of farm you expect a carry to have when your team's 20k behind. Just is that same old issue of, like, Sven's usually the hero that's far ahead, not the hero that's a bit behind. And for that reason, he depends quite substantially on the Darkseer setting up.
Oh, we have a roll in. Sven with that God Strength going to be used up there, and Bounty Hunter using the Glimmer Cape actually to get on out. He's going to be just fine. Skywrath, though, maybe will drop this. Oh, he actually walks back into it. And Puck finally drops the Dream Coil on top of all of them. Exotic Deer, of course, right in the fray slot, trying to get his action on. Actually back him back a little bit there. But now he's coming forwards again. Primal Roar onto Solon. Nobody's going to be saved here by him. And now Jalopy with that BKB. Exotic Deer actually having some trouble keeping control of him. Thinking about coming back around. The Abyssal Blade, maybe he can get some bash procs, and he does. And now Baby Knight, one of the few folks left. Oh no, well, they have nothing to catch him out. Yule's on cooldown. And of course, if you can't touch him, you can't bash him.
Yeah, well, good luck defending your base. Like, without your Darkseer and your Sven. They might both need to buy back. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure the Darkseer does.
They do have buyback. Sven is going to be the one to do it first. Exotic Deer hitting fast. Not terribly hard, though, and they have to wait for the creep wave anyway. So Sven, Stormbolt, just going to help murder a poor defenseless Necronomicon, and it's pretty much a win for
Great.
Alternate. You forced a buyback and had a good team fight.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me they choose to buy back the Sven and not the Darkseer. I guess the Darkseer is very close to Shiva's, like pretty much got an entire Shiva's, and they decide that that's a bigger item for them. Sven, when you're this far behind, like he's got all his key items, and it's not like if your Daedalus is that much faster, it's going to make a huge difference. It's already a Daedalus from behind, and that kind of just is that.
Regeneration.
Meanwhile, let's take a look at items, because it's been a while since we've specifically talked about them. As you said, Kefka, he almost has the Shivas.
Yeah, he could buy it all if he didn't care about buyback, but might be concerned about buyback at this point.
Now for Sven, do you finish the Satanic here
Oracle
yet?
gets roared, and Beastmaster blinks away. Okay.
I think his Hawk saw that there were too many folks around the area. Oh, they have a wood right here that was just seeing it all. If you're the Sven, do you finish the Satanic next? Are you looking for bots? Because he did buy out. He did buy back. He may as well buy out.
Yeah, no, he still needs to go for the crits, I think. Or, okay, he's going for Hyperstone, so Assault Cuirass probably. I guess put together all the team items, the Shivas, sort curious. When you have a Darkseer, having all those auras can be really nice. Like let you win the team fight that way with like lots of stuff, and your team's all strong, and you have all these illusions as well. But I don't think he could go for Satanic because he basically just frankly needs more damage output
Wow.
before making it viable.
Yeah. A couple interesting things. Obviously, Sven blew the gold strength there, being very ambitious with that jump. Supreme Ags, but of course the refresher. So Supreme's just fully dedicated to this utility puck
As
build.
if I wasn't slippery enough already.
He can do lots of cool things with that refresh orb.
So.
And Slog's saying as if it wasn't slippery enough, but Puck's gonna be pretty slippery too. And finally, Slog is actually going back to that BKB, which I do think that's gonna be the. I mean, look, professional players like to buy BKBs as late as they possibly can, because then it's higher charges later on in the game. Obviously, very useful. So there's that. But a part of me feels like if the BKB was earlier in this game, they probably could have closed out the game earlier. And I'm thinking like maybe this is a sign of the previous game where Alternate was so far ahead and managed to like, I guess you could say, throw a very big lead. That they've been very, very careful and very, very nervous in their approach to closing out this game, despite the fact that, at least in my opinion, they've had ample openings and opportunities to push just that a little bit further. But they're being extremely respectful to the Darkseer's high ground defense.
I mean, I think you have to, right? You are. What happened in that first game has to be right up on your mind saying, hey, we had a 25,000 net worth lead, we lost, you're just gonna siege safely. And I think it's good itemization again. They're playing very patiently. This is truly what differentiates the lower tier teams from the upper.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so in the ideal world, they're going to pick off the Darkseer before they ever go high ground, and then they're going to force him to buy back and then pick him off again before they go high ground. Maybe that's what we see them wait for. I'm not sure. They could still get a lot stronger. Like, certainly they could get a Hex on their pack, which I think would be really nice at this stage.
Oh, London Conspiracy, they're finally gonna do something. They will smoke out.
Thanks for that.
They also pick off the bird. I'm not sure how obvious. I don't think that gave away the smoke at all, but because it should have looked like, unless Alternate was very carefully looking, that it just.
Oh, they're going to be
rolled from
introduced to Slog's BKB, and this is not going to be a very pleasant
Well,
introduction.
Maybe Slog can. Oh, okay. Slog knows about it. They now know about the BKB. Puck Orb scouts a little bit. Slog's illusions giving them more intel. Actually, just going to destroy the ward. And the smoke not going to work at all from London Conspiracy.
This is outside of the base. Alternate are very happy to fight here. This is much less likely Darkseer punishes them. Yeah.
Oh, they're coming in. Puck manages to drop that ult. He immediately has dropped the refresher as well. He can drop another one, but he's getting hit up by the Sven. Manages to jump onto the back lines. And where is the next Dream Coil? Oh, he already dropped it. And that is just going to be Jalopy left to be isolated. There's a buyback, but it's not enough. And this Skywrath won't even get back into the team fight. Look at how quickly they were demolished there by Alternate.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to avoid being caught out in like a huge vacuum combination if you're not pushing the high ground. And so as soon as they see that opportunity to fight away from the base, they're
gonna get the catch. Blowing up Baby Knight again. And here comes the push in. GG's are cold. And both series headed to a game 3.
Yeah, and I mean in some respects, again, like this could easily have been 2-0. Alternate amassed like a gigantic 25/30k lead in both games. Just one of the games they managed to finish, the other one they didn't. Like, London Conspiracy have a much less reliable comeback mechanic this game. They've got the like, hopefully we win a really big team fight, and part of that does go down to the fact that they picked a mid Skywrath mage. Like it must be said that this is a risky pick. It wasn't terrible. It did some good things, but the way the game turned out, they would have much rather had Baby Knight on one of his more classic, you know, typical scaling semi-carry heroes.
Yeah, I just think, as you said, Alternate kind of just caught them out there. I was even surprised by how fast everybody died, and there weren't buybacks on the right heroes, so nothing London Conspiracy could do. Either way, let's get us all into that next game. We'll see you guys again shortly. I'm Llama Down Under. I've been joined by Scant, so see you again in... There might be a little break between matches since it is the third game, so we'll get you into that lobby though. Peace out.